Hello everyone, welcome to the Daily Nature Journal. I'm finishing off my pages for May this week. I've got two to get through. I've got this page which I'm going to be working on today, and this one which I'll do in the next video. Then I'll be caught up and ready to get on with June. In today's video I'm going to be doing some sketches of the little fledgling robins that I've been feeding this month. They've been a real feature of my May. Initially there were 3 of them hanging around. Now I more often see just the 2 at the moment. Earlier on, as you can see in these videos here, they were really very greedy and fighting over the food in my hand. Now they tend to come individually and they're a little bit more shy. I think they're really getting ready to go and find territories of their own. I'm going to do some sketches of them on this page. I'm going to go back to the little style that I used very early on in the year. These very quick little sketches of the birds that I did in January. I think they'll also work really well to capture the spirit of these little fledglings that I've been feeding. This video is going to be an extended video on my Patreon, so if you want to see more of the process on how I'm creating these birds, then go and sign up for my Patreon. It's the extended content tier and above, and every patron really helps me to continue doing what I really love, which is sharing nature journaling. So hopefully you'll go and have a look, and there's a lovely community of patrons on there. And it would be a lot harder to keep going with this project without them. So if you are a patron, thank you very much for your support. And now I'm happy with that, I can get my pigment liner. This is a Stapler pigment liner in 0.3. I quite like this pen. And what I want in these is for them to come across as quick sketches like the ones I do outside. The difference is I've got a little bit more time and I've got still images, so I can really focus on the proportions and things that I'm interested in. Whereas outside I'm just drawing so quickly I don't get a lot down. Finishing sketches within sort of 5 or 10 seconds and moving on to the next one. So this is an opportunity to get that kind of style but have a fixed still image to work from. I like these ones that are captured just as the bird's coming in to land on my hand. I do want to do one more detailed picture on each page. That's partly kind of aesthetic, it looks nice to have some that are more detailed than others. But also it allows an opportunity to sort of look at some of the fine details around the face, or the wings, or whatever part you choose. I chose the face of this little one. So the main part of this process is actually happening now with the pen. It's this quick drawing with the pen. The colour going on for most of this is going to be just really sort of quick. And I'm not going to be focusing too hard on that. So a lot of the work that's happening is this improving drawing skills quickly with a fine liner. When you put enough of these on the page, it really doesn't matter if some of them are a bit wrong or if you don't like all of them, because there's always going to be one that's going to look good and draw the attention away from all the other ones. On this page I don't really want to put my hand in too much. I kind of want to focus on the birds, but I think with the paint I'll make sure that I'm suggesting that the hand's there so they don't look like they're sort of floating. On this large one I've got the opportunity to put a little bit more detail in. So I'll put more of the feathers that I can see because I've got a bigger image of the bird to work from. Because I've got a pencil line in already, it's quite quick work with the pen. Now 2 more on this page. I'm going to have one up on a branch. That's it. It's a page of sketches there. So I'm just going to write in a little description. Now, taking the pencil lines away, so I don't want any of those left. When I put these clips in, because I've got so many pressed flowers in here, I'm having to really carefully check that I'm not going to squash any of my flowers by putting the clips on. But it does help to use clips like this so you can get a nice flat surface to work on. First I'm going to put in all of their little orange bits for the ones that are adults, so I'm just going to put those straight in. I've already done, like I said before, I've already done the hard work here. I've done the drawing. To make things more efficient, I always do one colour at a time when I'm working on these pages. So although there's lots of drawings, I'll really waste a lot of time if I do them one by one. So I do them by colour instead. I can leave some areas of the background colour of the page as well, and then that can help to emphasise the light parts of the bird as well. The other nice thing about doing it colour by colour is you usually don't have to wait for anything to dry. You've got time. And I should mention that the colours I'm using are Derwent Inktense. They are my favourite. I work with them most of the time when I'm not working with botanical inks or coloured pencils. On my Patreon I've got these images that I'm using are available for patrons as attachments, so patrons can draw from these collected images. They do show a nice range of different postures of the robins. So leaving some of the background colour coming through really gives you that clear freckled effect on them. That's what I wanted to achieve. In this one I'm going to need more than 2 shades of brown. I'm going to need, I think I'll go for 3. So I've got the tan colour that I've already done. Then I'm going to put another colour over the top, and then I'm going to have one that's a little bit darker than both of those. This one I'm going to be leaving quite a bit of the underneath colour, so I want to show where the lightest parts are. All of the much darker feathers are under here. Beaks next, so I'm going to use a little bit of Payne's Grey mixed with brown. Now the adult robins, they've got an area of greyish white underneath. I'm going to do that with a little bit of blue. I don't want it to be too strong. I've added some green to this brown because I want it to be contrasting colour to the robins, so they don't look like they're blending in. So I want to add a little bit of something to separate that. For some of them I need to add a little bit of brown that's even darker. These are now the finishing touches that are just going to add the contrast that I need. And then finally I can do the eyes, and that will bring them to life. So just putting in on this bird just the last details that I need. I think the last thing I want is just to really lighten these up. I want to have a little bit more of that yellow. And now finally, it's time for the eyes. Got a black micron pen for the eyes. white pen. Tiniest little spot in each eye will give it a bit of life. I've just realised one more thing I need to do. I need to suggest where my hand is in some of these. And there we are, we have a page of robins. And that was done in about 35 minutes from scratch. So it just goes to show that you don't have to set aside too much time, and you don't have to spend too long with lots of colours. All of this is great practice, so it really doesn't matter if one doesn't quite work out. Remember that you can see more of the process on my Patreon. In the next video I'm going to be finishing off my last page for May, and then we'll be moving on to June after that. And June's a great month around here. There's going to be visits going hunting for some orchids. We're going to go back through the undercliffs down to the beach, and we're going to have a look underwater and also back to the ancient woodland. So there's loads coming up on this channel. If you want to see all of that outdoor stuff, plus more from the studio creating journal pages like this, then please make sure that you subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.